Do the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We call this meeting of the Hamilton County Veteran Service Commission to order. Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Hedden. Absent. Commissioner Rowland. Commissioner Stanford absent. Commissioner Watson.
Here.
And Commissioner Wilson.
Here, wouldn't he be excused? He told us ahead of time.
Yeah, they both be excused, yeah. And then Mr. Sanza.
Here.
And we have Mr. Stevenson with us today.
All right, I don't believe we have any guests today,
Nope.
so we'll move on with the, I'll entertain a motion. I'm sorry.
No, we'll leave it open for the public.
Sorry. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, Pam, please.
Commissioner Rowland.
Yes.
Commissioner Watson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. And did everyone get a chance to review the minutes? They were emailed out to everyone prior to the meeting.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for the, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes.
A motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second, is there any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland.
Yes.
Commissioner Watson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. Okay. Presentations and announcements.
Jerry, did you want to present now? We just added this onto the agenda, if we ever have folks from the community that want to just give 2 minutes of the board's time to present or give announcements, and then they can be on their way instead of waiting the entire time. Or it would be a chance too for the commissioners to give their presentation or announcements, or wait until the commissioners report after all the business. It's up to you.
It's fine like this, Lauren. Then I'll tell you what, though, I'm not going to take that Tony Cole if he comes again and acts like that. I'm going to ask him to be taken out of here.
I'd like to see us formalize that. The open forum portion format is the last thing we do. I think it should be moved up to be the first thing that we do.
It did get moved up, Commissioner, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just basing this off the committee. I didn't know this is before I arrived, but adopted May 8th, apparently is meeting rules.
Yes.
So that has a presentation announcement portion followed by open forum before conducting business. So
Gary, did you want to present your sign?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Here,
Yeah, the sign here, this is on hang permanent, well, here and then at the new building.
Yeah.
And
Fit right here.
that's fantastic.
I knew Alan Brockman. He has his own sign company. I've known him since he was a kid. And I coached his team in basketball back years ago, back when Moby Dick was so goldfish, And so I went to him and I asked for this to be made, and he made it and donated it to me. He actually made me two, and then I gave one to my VFW. And I hung it up at the gym where I work out. It was just the poster itself. And there's 3 guys at the gym that their hobby is they get together and they got a shop together. They do all kinds of woodwork. And they saw that and they took it and framed it for me. So that whole thing was free. And
very nice.
yeah, the guys that framed it, one of them was another Vietnam veteran with the Army, served in the Army, and another one was Marine Corps, but he never got deployed anywhere. He's a little bit younger. Yeah, so.
Thank you, Jerry. That looks great. It's gonna look great right there. Yeah, and in the new office. Thank you.
Okay, it's pretty heavy, you might.
Oh, well, we got
We got
guys to
maintenance
help
to do
us
that.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mounted with a stud.
All right,
That's all, Madam President, for presentation announcements.
okay, great. So anything under open forum? We have no visitors. Does any commissioner have anything that they want to update us on, what they've been doing or anything like that?
I did leave that, just again, following the approved meeting agenda, Madam President, Commissioner's report, we kind of save that, and, recap one by one each commissioner at the end of the meeting, but happy to move that to the beginning, moving forward.
Perfect. All right, old business.
Okay, transportation services, Madam President, and to the board, so update on where we stand now. We are live on our Flex Transportation program. So we've got the pre-approval for reimbursement of transportation to and from medical expenses for those veterans in the county that aren't on the bus line, so can't take advantage of our bus pass option or our Metro Access. They can seek reimbursement for Uber, Lyft, or whatever other third-party entity that they want to hire to transport them to the VA or their medical appointment, and then we'll reimburse them through emergency financial assistance. So that's live now on the website. Encourage all veterans out there, and we'll make sure we start an advertising campaign for it. But that's live on the website, get pre-approved, and then once they're pre-approved, they can schedule their appointment, and then we'll reimburse them. So that's the update on transportation services. The final thing there, I know Commissioner Stanford had asked 2 meetings ago for a more long-term plan for transportation services within a 60-day time period. That would be next month. I'll formalize that, but really we'll go into option D at that point, and that's going to be van transportation, the acquisition of vans, and then get drivers for the office, and then pick up and provide door-to-door service. So that's in the works as well. But
I got one question on the transportation.
Yes, ma'am.
When we purchase van or vans, whatever it turns out to be, where will they be kept? Do we have a place that we're going to be able to keep them?
So it will depend on when we actually acquire them. If it's before we move to the Mercy Health building, if that actually does get finalized, then we'll have to reach out either with the sheriff's office to try to see if we can get more parking space at the Justice Center. We've had one in the past, or contract with one of these parking lots and house them close to the building.
But that's something you're already looking into.
Yes.
Yeah, I've also contacted Ed, Nada
Yeah.
at the VA who does the transportation, and he had looked into us parking our vans up there too.
Yeah.
In case we need.
There is that option as well.
Yeah, they got plenty of parking
Yeah.
space in the back, because I drove in for them.
It really doesn't matter where it's parked, so long as
No.
the driver can.
Right, as long as the driver can
Yeah.
access it.
Yeah.
I was just curious, because at one time I heard that we had an issue about where we would park vans if we got a van.
Yes,
Right?
yeah. And I'll talk more about that as we talk our remaining budget for the year. Dental services, Madam President, so that really, this board has talked about expanding into also providing dental services. We can do that now, as I'm in the process of reviewing our Veterans Assistance Policies and Procedures Manual when it comes to services. We can get dental services up and running, and it would be through a reimbursement option as well. It's the veteran comes in, we limit the services that we reimburse for annual dental exam, cleaning with fluoride, and then x-rays, and then a one-time emergency tooth extraction up to a $2,500 cap, which is pretty high. The board can move on that now, and then I can just add that on the current version that I'm updating, and that way it can be finalized that way. But if the board wants to go ahead and authorize that we get dental services up and running, that is ready to go.
So we need a motion for that.
Correct.
Make a motion that we get the dental services running.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second about getting the dental services on board. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you, Madam President. The third item is eye care services. The board has talked about in the past, same thing, providing eye care services when it comes to eye exam and then basic eyeglass service for the veterans. Again, it would still be in compliance with, they have to abide by our financial assistance guidelines. They'd have to meet our criteria. But then it would again be through a direct vendor payment system. They find the eye doctor. They come to us with the invoice. We approve it per our guidelines up to a certain dollar amount. I think that is the way it's written right now, $1,000 limit. It's just an eye exam and glasses. And then they can qualify and we directly pay the eye doctor. Asking for a motion, should the board want to go ahead and get that going. We can get that up and running and add that on the financial assistance manual.
Okay, a motion to add the eye care services, get it going.
Second.
Okay, under discussion, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, just so I have it clear in my head, I know the dental services for a veteran are limited because you have to be 100% disabled to get dental care through the VA currently. But eye care is not the same. So, I mean, do we check to see if they're enrolled in the VA before we do this? Because if they're enrolled in the VA, all they need to do is make an appointment with the eye doctor.
Yes.
So, I mean, do we check that first before we're going, I mean, we don't need to spend money if we don't have to.
Absolutely. So one of the guidelines would be if they aren't already eligible through the VA, then they can come to us. But the first place should be the VA. And
So, well, I guess my point is, if they're eligible through the VA, they shouldn't be coming to us. They need to be going to the VA.
Correct.
Because the care would then be free, except maybe, I know last time I got eyeglasses through the VA, I had to pay for the frames. So, I mean, we could reimburse them for the frames, right?
right. I mean, that's when it comes to eyeglasses, that's what I mean. It's really the payment of eyeglasses. Now, I don't know if there's scenarios where they're being treated at the VA, but they don't qualify for eyeglass service. If that is the case, then they can come to us.
Yes.
But we'll make that.
I want to make sure that they're using their
Yeah.
sources first before they come to us.
Yeah,
We shouldn't pay for something that they can get through the VA.
Right.
I mean, I understand dental
Yes.
care because it's not available to everybody.
Yeah.
But if you're enrolled in the VA, eye care is pretty readily available
Yeah.
to all of them.
But, and it's the same with the transportation. I mean, the VA can reimburse for Uber and Lyft, but right now they are, my understanding, underfunded and
Right,
short-staffed. So then they can come to us
right.
for that service.
Well, I just want to make sure that they
Go to the
we're
VA first.
directing them to the VA first. And
Yes,
then if they don't qualify or can't get in, then yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We will do that.
You brought up a thing or other thing. I used to wouldn't have to wear glasses, but I don't anymore. And I always got mine through the VA. And, they gave you free glasses, but, I wanted to get like a photo gray that would turn dark
Oh,
around the
sure.
sun,
Yeah,
stuff like that. They said, well, if you want that, you have to pay for that option.
Right,
I
right.
got the glasses free, but I had to pay, I forget, $90
Sure.
or something to get the photo gray lenses. So I don't think we should have to pay for that for them. Just get
I mean,
the regular the
Right.
glasses.
we should just be providing an eye care service. If they want something, polarized glasses or, something that's not standard, I think that's up to them.
Right.
Right.
We're just making sure that they have eyeglasses.
Right.
Well, I just
First,
wanted
they
to
should
bring that
go
up.
through the VA first if they're eligible.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I wanted to just make sure I had that straight in my mind. Okay,
I think most veterans are gonna be eligible for eye care.
Yeah.
But the way we can probably handle that is make a section of the application, a certification that I have checked with.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yes, sir.
we can even put in the address and the phone number of the eyeglass.
Yeah.
The
Okay, good.
eye
Yeah.
service, which is on Highland Avenue.
yeah, they're
These
on,
are,
Once,
these are VA glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
once you're in there, they schedule me once a year.
yeah. I know, I get it, I know my husband gets it, and I know he just went through some eye surgery with them, so,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, well, Pam and I
I
will do
think
our
it should
homework.
be,
Yes.
I think it's something we wanna offer, but I think we just wanna make sure that if they're eligible for the VA, that they go through the VA first, that we're a backup and
Yes.
not the first thing.
I think you have to be a certain rating,
No,
percentage.
Nope.
Nope,
No?
no, I'm no percentage whatsoever,
oh, okay,
so
Okay,
well,
okay,
okay,
well, good. All
well,
right.
that's good to know,
Well, we'll include this in the,
as long as they're enrolled,
okay.
that's the main
Yeah.
thing.
And then we can review the kind of step-by-step guidelines when I present
Right,
the.
I just wanna make sure that, you know,
Yes.
we don't need to, we can spend our money someplace else
Right.
and not on eye care, you know, if they're eligible for it, I think we should be pushing them towards the VA.
That's wise, yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so,
We'll just wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're done with discussion, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we being.
Yeah, we made the motion, that was
We
discussion,
already voted, yes.
we haven't voted,
no,
we
that
had
was for
discussion.
dental.
We need to
Motion,
vote.
second.
Okay,
So that was discussion.
Yeah.
We had a motion to and a Watson,
Yeah.
a second, so we just need a roll call.
right,
So
now we just need to vote,
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
yes.
motion carries.
Okay, challenge coin. So commissioners, you have their printout of our proof of a challenge coin rendering. So we are ready to go ahead and order if the board is in agreement. It has our office logo, Veteran Service Commission of Hamilton County on one side. On the other side, all 6 major branches of the Department of Defense and Homeland Security with the Coast Guard.
Nice,
Since 1886 is the founding of the Soldiers and Sailors Commission, which is our predecessor organization. And then it has also serving those who served on the other side. We can start out with an initial acquisition of 500 for this year, and that brings us below the bidding threshold of $2,500. I think the total is a total of 2,300.
Yeah, something like that.
2,300, so we'd be able to get a purchase order and then go ahead and order.
all right,
And the actual size is the one that's on the graph.
Correct, sir.
Yes,
Not the big.
and have a motion to go ahead with the challenge coins.
Motion to go ahead with the challenge one.
Second. I just have,
Well, we'll get there.
okay.
So we have a motion and a second to purchase the challenge coins, now discussion.
Yeah, my only point is, in fact, I like the layout. I like the concept. But a lot of times these coins, when you have detail like on the back, especially with lettering and the emblems of the various service organizations, the quality isn't there. I have several coins where the quality wasn't there. And I just want to make sure that the printer actually does it up to the quality standards that I've seen on some other coins.
Yes, sir. So one of the things we can do then is we can ask for a sample
Proof?
proof,
Yeah, I think that would be a good
One.
idea.
and then we have to look review first.
Yes, that would be.
no, I did read their ratings, and they have a 5-star rating also.
Okay.
So on their challenge points, this company did, so.
Good.
So, but I can,
Well, they can usually get you approved pretty quickly. We just bought challenge coins for my post and, we got the proof back within like a week.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get a little sample. Yes, sir.
But that's a good point, well taken. Okay. So,
Okay.
we have a motion to purchase the challenge coins, but to get a proof first before we order quantity. Okay. Roll call, Pam?
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. Now we're on to new business.
Okay. New business, Madam President, policies and procedures manual. This is, you all have a copy of the about 100-page HR policies and procedures manual for VSC. Currently, as you all know, the County Veteran Service Commissions can have their own policies and procedures manual impacting human resources. If they don't have one, then it defaults to the county. This office has been using the county's default, so it doesn't really account for the nuances of this office when it comes to personnel, specifically when the hiring of veteran service officers that are that classify as civil servants. So we've added that as well. So sent that to each of you individually via email to review, not asking for a vote right now, simply because Eric Muniz, our assistant prosecutor, who's been kind of helping the Veteran Service Commission, especially with things like this, is on leave right now, and he's asked if we can wait until he gets back so he can also review it. And then,
No, not, they have the video.
Okay.
They'll bring it over when you have time
Thank
after the meeting.
Thank
You
Uh,
the meeting, right?
so he'd like to review that, and but that way you have the opportunity to have a hard copy today. So just keeping you informed. No vote being asked.
So everybody should take the manual with them today, and when you can't sleep at night, open it up, start reading it.
Yeah.
Fall back
Or we
asleep.
can have an intelligent discussion about it next meeting.
Yes.
How's
Yeah.
that?
It's good sleepy reading.
Yeah. And then stay tuned. Once you've approved that, then I'll send you about a 30-page document for Veterans Services or Veterans Assistance Policies and Procedure Manual. How this office takes in service claims, financial assistance, and then what are the criteria, dental, eye care, transportation as well. So that's in the works.
Well, this has been very much needed, and thanks for everybody getting it together. And we look forward to approving it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so direct vendor payment system.
Yes, Madam President, we now have moved into more of an accountability, transparency way of issuing emergency financial assistance. Just like to inform the board that Hamilton County kind of stands unique in the way that we've been doing emergency financial assistance, and that is direct check payments made out to the veteran for all of their financial assistance needs. Rent is paid out directly to them, utilities, food, hygiene, clothing, and then the one-off items. Look, as I visited the other sister counties and then looking at where we can improve in terms of accountability and transparency, Pam and I have worked with the auditor's office and the purchasing office to look at a way of doing not all, but with the big three items of rent and Duke Electrical and Water, Cincinnati Water Works, going to a direct vendor payment method. That is a check issued not directly to the veteran, but directly to the vendor, the landlord, Duke, and then Cincinnati Water, so that we make sure that the money is going
Right.
directly to those places.
It would definitely alleviate misuse of funds.
Yes. HUD-VASH came in here last week, and they really, this is what convinced Pam and I, is that they laid out a pain point for them, and that's that the veterans that are currently in the HUD-VASH program that are working with these landlords for housing have come to the VSC and asked for rent relief, and that money oftentimes, I think they said about 40%, has not gone to the landlord. So then now it causes a problem for HUD-VASH instead of being able to now help other veterans, they have to go back and help the veteran that they've already been trying to help out. And I asked them what would help alleviate that, and they said direct vendor payment for the VSC. So
It just makes sense.
yeah, it's going to require a little bit more legwork, especially for Pam, but we will get her reinforcement. You know,
Well,
it's
once
going
it
to require
gets set up though,
Yeah.
once it's set up and you're used to doing it that way, it's probably actually gonna make it a little bit easier.
Yes. We just need W-9s from the people, the vendors that are currently in the auditor system, but the 501, the 513 relief bus has assumedly gotten already a lot of landlords in Hamilton County through that system, so they're in the system. Once they're in there, it just requires one form that Pam submits, a little bit of a time delay, but we'll let the veteran know that it's in your best interest, you are going to get this issued to your landlord, but you need to let them know that it's gonna take some time, just by a couple days.
Well,
A few
here's the
days.
deal though, if they hesitate on that, if they give us pushback on that, that's not their intention for the money to begin.
Right.
You know, they
Right.
should be happy that they know, we know that it's gonna be taken care of.
Right.
You know, and we're being fiscally responsible to make sure that it happens that way. And, it just makes sense. There's no temptation there of, well, I'm gonna go to the casino and win my rent or
But then,
whatever.
the important thing is that we're making sure they're not being evicted.
Exactly.
And
We
we're
want them
making
in
sure
their house.
their heat and water is not being turned off. So we're gonna make that.
Exactly.
And only on a case-by-case basis will, with the executive director's approval, will we issue out a direct check to the veteran, but only in those rare circumstances. So that's in the works. No vote really needed there. It's just to update the board.
I think that if a landlord volunteers to participate in this program, they're gonna be willing to,
Yes.
once they understand.
Yeah, they know that the rent's
administration
coming, I think they'd be willing
and
for
how
a day or
the
two
policy's going to work.
delay.
I think they would be willing to go with the particular veteran on whatever their circumstances are.
Yes, sir.
I would, if I were a landlord.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Or either that or I wouldn't participate in the program at all.
Right. All right. Moving on to email newsletter, Madam President. So our webmaster, Ben Rosenfield, has pitched the idea to the board that if we want to do an email newsletter, the amount of interest that he's able to capture of users that go to our website and click, I want to, sign up to learn more, or, here's a question, they submit it through a contact form. He's got, names and email addresses of these folks. So what he's proposing is we do some sort of email newsletter plan so that we can send our newsletter out through email and then also be able to give them updates directly to their email so they don't have to go to the website for that.
I think that, Pam, didn't you say one was mailed a few weeks ago? We never received
It was just on the appreciation day, man. It was just a
I
flyer.
mean, we never received it. My post never received it.
Hmm.
So I'm just saying, I think there's a problem with the mail system too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of, I know my Legion post has pretty well gone to emailing the newsletter out.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me because it's instantaneously, you can hit more people and there's no big cost to it like it is mailing.
Right. Now, the cost of this would be, it's a standard plan through a marketing platform called MailChimp. It's email marketing. $20 a month. Their account setup fee of $250, and then emailing, design setup and testing 2 hours at $500, and then integration with the website testing 2 hours, $500. So all in all, total cost of $1,470 and $1,745, between $1,470 and $1,745.
Well, in the long run, I think it's going to be, save us money, and it's gonna be more efficient, and people are gonna get more news, from us,
Mhm.
than they did in the past.
This is not in lieu of the link on the website.
Correct.
It's in
This is-
addition to.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, so asking for a vote.
Question,
Yes, sir.
what's the difference between the two figures, the low and the high?
It's by contacts. So the 1470 is 500 contacts, 6,000 total emails per month, or the 1745 is 1,500 contacts at 18,000 emails per month.
And this does not include the $20 a month maintenance.
That does include it. Yes, sir.
So for what, 1 year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
$220 a year or $495 depending on the plan.
So I'll entertain a motion to do the advertising, the FY24 advertising.
Now we're on email newsletter.
I'm sorry, the email newsletter, I'm sorry. I'm jumping down,
You moving fast.
I'm trying.
Madam President, do you want to just set a budget limit for the staff not to exceed $2,000 a year?
I was thinking 2,000, yes. So I entertain a motion to do the email newsletter with a cap of $2,000 a year.
So move.
And second.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Pam?
Commissioner Rowland, Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, now we're down to the remaining 24 advertising budget.
So Madam President, after reviewing the budget and then talking with our budget analyst, Cheryl Floyd, we do have additional resources allocated to us for this current fiscal year, calendar year 2024. That money is technically under veteran relief, but it can be used for advertising or veteran relief. Even if you set aside the additional funds needed to help our veterans with emergency financial assistance for the remaining 5 months of the year, we still do have unaccounted for right now a chunk of funds that can be used for really advertising or outreach. So with that, I know that last board meeting, Commissioner Stanford had presented this iHeart radio contract for the upcoming Bengals season that starts in 2 days. It's for radio advertisement, pre-game, post-game, and then also the preseason. So it would extend from now on through December. Initially, the talk was to defer this. They had offered a deferred payment for next year, but talking with the purchase office, that's really improper. We don't want to encumber funds next year that this board has not yet been authorized by the county commission. So if we want to do this for this year, then it should come out of this year's budget. We do have the budget for that. It would come to $22,780 as the contract figure still stands. Of course, we can negotiate that. It's up to this board if we'd like to do that or reserve this money for something else, another outreach opportunity, or really the acquisition of one of our vans this year already. These vans would cost around $50,000, $60,000 if we wanted to get that now. And it does take time to bid for those vans. So discretion of the board.
Or, Jerry, you have any feelings on that?
I like the idea of going for the van.
Lee?
I do too. I like the, I like doing something with the Bengals. I'm not so sure a radio advertising on iHeartRadio, I think it's WLW 500, is going to be the best bang for our dollar. And we at some point are going to need these vehicles. And if we can sooner start the process of purchasing the vehicles, I'd like to I'd be in favor of that. Although I'm not against doing something with the Bengals, that iHeartRadio on WLW, I think it states 500. I don't think maybe that's the best venue. It could be, but I don't think it is.
I will add, Madam President, so to that end, that the Bengals is only aired on one radio station. It is 700 WLW. So when it comes to having a captured audience only tuning in for the Bengals season, we'd be advertising on that sole radio station. On the other hand, it does not limit it to Hamilton County. I mean, you're going to have listeners that are just across the tri-state, even across the river, listening to the game as well. So I think Commissioner Watson, you brought up return on investment. It's hard to just determine that. I mean, you could have, all the veterans in Hamilton County that are in those games tuning into some 700 WLW. But understanding that, there could be other use of the funds. I will say,
Question on that.
yes, ma'am.
My question is this. In our area, we have Butler, Claremont, Clinton, Warren, Hamilton. Have we thought about perhaps reaching out to the other counties and it be a joint effort where we could all put in a certain amount, like $5,000, okay? And be one ad for all of us, okay? Because I hear Butler County's ads all the time, okay? But maybe if we did something joint, we could all share in the advertisement, that Butler, Claremont, Clinton, Warren, Hamilton, or all counties, you're all here to serve all the veterans, and that we have offices in all our counties, and we have service officers in all our counties. And I think that you, since you've taken over the director's job, that you've already established working relationships with all of the counties just about. And I think that would be nice if we could go together on an ad and we could do it, and maybe you only have to put in 4,000 or 5,000 from each county, okay? Because how I look at it is we need to buy a van. The main concern that I've heard for the past several months that we've been getting hit on is that we don't provide transportation. The advertising is great. We want to get our name out there in a positive light, but we really need the van. But I think if we worked in conjunction with the other counties, that we could actually get something put together pretty quickly and still do the advertising and still get the van. But for me, the van is number one in my eyes.
That's a great point, Madam President. I mean, I could definitely reach out. I don't know what their budget, constraints
Well, I
are,
think it doesn't hurt to ask.
Right.
We don't know
Yeah,
if we
I can
don't
definitely
ask.
The other thing too
And,
is,
I'm
we
not
can,
saying if it's only 4,000 or 5,000 from each county, we may be able to get the van and still do the advertising.
I just think, there could be a delay, because now we have to, loop in the
Could
other
be,
counties.
but maybe not.
The contract. But the other thing too is that we can tweak this contract and just say our max is 5,000.
What are we gonna get for $5,000?
Right. I could do that as well. I mean,
I think 22,000 is a lot of money, and we don't really ever know. God, I love the Bengals, I love the Reds, but we never know what kind of season they're gonna have.
Right.
And do we wanna spend 22,000 and they have a terrible season and nobody's listening or watching? I mean, we are fans if things are going great, but if they're not going great, then all of a sudden we're shopping or we're playing pickleball or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Fair weather fans.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. So I think that, I would like to see what you could possibly work out. And,
the other counties, okay.
yeah, because I think we have the money that we could wiggle it, that we could possibly still do both.
Would the board just like me to try to see what we can also just get for a certain dollar amount? I think, 5,000 is within reason, and still be able
Yeah.
to park vans. I think
Yes.
the cap might be a third of that, so about 7,000-8,000 is probably the cap.
I would think so.
Yes, based on my just rough count.
But I mean, forward thinking, perhaps if we don't do it this year, perhaps that we could collaborate with the other
Yeah.
counties
Sure.
next year on some advertising. I know that at one point, a few years ago, that, Butler and, Claremont and Warren wanted us to join them. That didn't happen.
Okay.
So I just think that we should try to work
Great
together.
partnership.
And you've got a great relationship with all the
Yeah.
directors.
You could just do the division, sure.
Lee?
Yeah.
This is a little bit broader, maybe for farther looking plan. Section 5901 has in it supplemental programs. They have funds set aside for programs that a given VSC can ask the state to fund. Those funds are available, they are outside of your regular budget. And right now we have in the Hamilton County, not Hamilton County, the Ohio Association of Veteran Service Commissioners, we have like 8 districts.
Yes, sir.
I think that it may be worth looking into to maybe look at the makeup of each district and see if we can get a state-approved budget targeting advertising district-wide, and those funds would be supplemental funds from the state budget, not necessarily from any agency's budget. And the selling point might be if we're paying for state-funded advertising by region, then we can eliminate that from or parts of that from an expense to each individual VSO. So we wouldn't have to budget for that, and let that be a statewide program and target when the ad goes out, Hamilton, Butler, Claremont, Adams, whatever the counties in that district are,
Yes, sir.
and get the state to approve that on a much broader, more comprehensive sense. I think that might be something we might want.
Robin Mahady at the.
Because we do have districts, and if not districts, we can make it three counties, 4 counties, but have the state fund that advertising.
Yeah.
Because that's a benefit to the state, not just each individual county. And those funds supplemental funds are available directly to be requested for a project from the state.
So, do we need a motion on what we want you to do here?
Yes, ma'am. I'd ask for a motion to authorize the executive director to go ahead and execute a contract for iHeart not to exceed a portion of this dollar amount. So if not 23,000, then not to exceed 8,000. And whether we do that with conjunction with the other counties or just ourselves, we can do 8,000.
All right,
Not to exceed it.
not to exceed, all right. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes,
Commissioner Wilson.
And I just like to say, I don't think anybody should, I know there for a while, we didn't have an executive director, but we do now. So I think that if you have an idea of advertising or doing something, that we should have a conversation with our executive director and let him work on it. It just makes sense. So I don't think we need to be going out by ourselves trying to get deals or whatever. I think that, Orlando, if we bring something to him, then he's gonna bring it to the board for approval. And he'll make sure everything's legal, and he thought of things like the escape clause, that, if the Bengals aren't doing good, that we can get out of the contract. So, let our executive director do his job.
Yes, ma'am.
let's make one point here. I wasn't suggesting that any of the
No,
commissioners.
no, no,
do
no,
that
no,
work.
no,
I was always directing the
no,
work.
no,
towards-
no, I wasn't even referring
Well,
to
I
that.
was just,
No, I wasn't even, no, that was a great idea. I'm just saying, ideas like that, you brought it up to the board for him to look into. No, that's what, I'm not, even what I was,
For the record, is what you're
Yeah.
doing. For the
just. All right. Okay, and then, do we need a motion to look into purchasing a van?
Well, this discussion is over.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
okay, so we need a roll call.
I'm sorry, did we vote? I'm sorry.
We were waiting for your vote.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You did.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes, I'm
motion
sorry.
carries.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Now, what about the van?
The vans, things can fall under sponsorship opportunities. So first, I'll talk to the current sponsorship opportunities that have materialized. We have that for now. So there are two with sister organizations here. So this is a direct ask of us from one, Easter Seals Redwood, our sister organization on the nonprofit side that focuses on veterans. They have their honor ride coming up next Saturday at East Fork Park. They've asked us to be a partner or consider being a partner with them and sponsor that honor ride. It's for, I believe, suicide prevention awareness. So I'll be attending, my family and I will be attending. I think some of our other staff will be attending as well. So this is the sponsorship opportunity handout that you all have. It's in levels. Purple Heart, 2,500, all the way up to Medal of Honor, 30. And then you see there what the level actually gets, the organization. I just think because they were such a strong partner for us for this July 20th event, and they are one of our go-to sister partners for veterans that we can't necessarily help or we can't fully assist with their needs. We send them to Easter Seals Redwood all the time. That this would be a great way to solidify our strong partnership with them.
What do you feel that we can afford in our budget here?
Well, in comparison, Madam President, we already executed on sponsoring the Operation Thank You with American Association of United States Army, their Appreciation Day event coming up August 24th at 5,000 to sponsor their fireworks. So in comparison, a $5,000 sponsorship gets, our logo, talking to the executive director, Sherry, who Sherry knows. But she also is greatly appreciative of whatever we can do.
All right, so, we've already sponsored the thank you, Operation Thank You, for 5,000. I will entertain a motion to, sponsor, to be a Bronze Star, in this opportunity for 5,000 for the ride, for the honor ride.
Yeah, so approved,
So moved
so moved, I mean.
I second.
and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Conflict of interest for me.
Well, it wasn't initiated at all from Jerry. I actually, that's right. I want to make that very clear. I reached out.
Well, I've already donated to this ride,
Yeah.
so, not anywhere near 5,000, but
That's right.
I did do a sponsorship. All right, so is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call, Pam, please.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes,
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. All
Motion
right,
carries.
All right. Okay, the other one is direct ask. This is a formalized letter from Sycamore Township. They are currently right now in the process of getting a veterans memorial in Sycamore Township, honoring all the major branches of service and all of the veterans from Sycamore Township with their names engraved on their services statue, and then also benches honoring those that served in the major wars. So the rendering is here for your review.
I thought I was already.
The letter is
Okay.
asking if the Veteran Service Commission consider contributing $10,000 to the establishment of this memorial. Sycamore Township Board of Trustees has put in $50,000, $150,000 has come from the state of Ohio and other regional stakeholders. So I think this is a great way to, again, it's not just an outreach opportunity for Hamilton County, but it's just showing that we're investing in the community, especially those that want to go the extra step and honor the veterans of their community. So I have no objection to this.
Are you comfortable with the 10,000? I mean, do we have that?
So the 10,000, I have actually, Pam and I have already accounted for, if the board moves, that still gives us enough to acquire a van and still do this iHeartRadio contract at the $8,000 amount. I put in a buffer of about $4,000 just to have a buffer in that fund. But we can do this and a van and the iHeart contract and on a ride. So 10,000 is reasonable.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to be a sponsor for the Sycamore Township Veterans Memorial in the amount of $10,000.
I second.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
To us from organizations in the community.
Motion to move to an executive session to review emergency 121.22 and 5901.09, and to consider the appointment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employees or officials, or the investigation of charges, complaints against public employees, official licensee, or regulated individual, G1 of section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, we're now in executive session. We need to shut.
Public meeting though, the door must be left open. Public meeting. That's what other executive directors have told me, and they've got audited for that. Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If we're dealing with a personnel matter that may result, and in this case will result in their termination, that does not have to be done in public. Can't that all be done in executive session?
You vote on the executive session.
No. I just want to know.
I'm gonna defer to council on this. I think all vote needs to be.
The vote has to be done in public. The consideration and the deliberation, which is what you've done in executive session, can be done in executive session.
So the employee doesn't have any protections.
He doesn't have a right to a hearing as a probationary employee.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay.
But what about regular employees?
Well, first of all,
Me or Lando or Gene?
well, if you're a classified employee, you would have a right to probably would have a right to a hearing prior to termination unless you were charged with a felony.
Okay.
And at that point, you would receive a suspension, either unpaid or with pay, until such time as you made the termination.
Okay, I understand all that. I'm just saying, if we're gonna fire like Orlando, we wouldn't necessarily do that in an open public meeting. We'd do that and then maybe announce it afterwards. Wouldn't that be entitled, wouldn't he be entitled to have all of that handled during an executive session?
I think he's unclassified. I am not sure.
Be someone like me.
Or someone more than Okay, I'm done. I got my answer.
All right, I'm going to entertain a motion to, accept the financial, reports.
Okay, motion to accept the assistant.
A motion to accept the assistant.
And you want to include the expired in this motion?
Don't we have to put them on them all individually?
Okay.
No, I don't think it needs to be individual.
You sure?
No.
Okay,
I think we can just vote on them all.
That's right.
okay.
Okay, I'll make that motion. We vote all?
Yeah, the assistant, and the non-eligible, and the expired.
Expired.
July reports.
Yes,
And the seconded, is there any
I
discussion?
say.
I said second,
Yeah.
yes. And is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes,
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. I will entertain a motion that, that Mr. Dunlap, be relieved of his duties here at the Veteran Service Commission. He is under his probationary period, and it's the judgment of the Veteran Service Commission Board of Commissioners that the employee's fitness or quality of work is not such to merit continuation of his job.
I make that motion.
Have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes,
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. And, does anybody else have anything they want to report on?
effective immediately.
Effective immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Our next board meeting will be Wednesday, October the 21st
August.
at 10 a.m.
August.
August, goodness gracious. August 21st, 2024 at 10 a.m. Do we know where we're meeting
It's
at? yet?
actually gonna be 11.
11 o'clock, yes, it's been moved because this is gonna be one of the first,
Okay, where are we meeting at?
We're gonna be meeting at the American Legion Post 69, Halker Fledge,
Harper Flaggy.
Halker Fledge,
Flaggy.
Beautiful city of Brandon.
Flaggy,
Flaggy.
Flaggy.
Flaggy. Thank you.
I knew the Flaggies very well on Reading Road.
That's it.
5,000 Reading Road. That's where our next
Exactly.
meeting will be.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I will be at their meeting, next Tuesday, and they're gonna give me a key to the facility, so if we wanna go in and look how we wanna set it up beforehand, we can do that.
very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Right, if there's no further business to come before the board, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I got one thing. I'll be real quick. I had a chance to visit the American Legion Post 154 on River Road,
That's 554.
554.
That's Chambers Hoffman, buddy.
Yes. I don't know. I'll learn them. This past week, they invited me to the meeting on Thursday, and I attended. Very well-run chapter, not a lot of members, but have a nice facility that they're in the process of upgrading it. And took care of business in a very professional manner, and I was welcome and got a chance to talk about us and what we're doing, and they were pleased to have us present.
Great. Okay, so we have a motion by Jerry to adjourn. We have a second.
Second.
Second, any other discussion? Okay, roll call, Pam.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.